evening and welcome. More than 17 hours after Ireland's 2-week lockdown was announced, more details on the list of non-essential services are just about to be published. We're crossing live now to government buildings where more details on these measures are being revealed.
Elderly or vulnerable people to take brief individual physical exercise within 2 kilometres of your home, always observing the 2-metre physical distancing. You may take children from your own household outdoors for physical exercise. And you can also move around for farming purposes, food production and the care of animals. One of the things that Taoiseach talked about last night was cocooning. The reason that the CMO has asked for cocooning of people over 70 or with a condition that makes them vulnerable is to keep you safe by reducing the number of people that you meet. What this means is you shouldn't leave the house. You shouldn't have any visitors to your home unless they're visiting to give you vital care. You shouldn't attend any gatherings, even family get-togethers in your home or your family's homes, weddings or religious services. You shouldn't go out for any reason. What you should do is avoid anyone who's displaying symptoms of Covid-19, including anyone who usually cares for you from your family or a home care provider. Keep using your phone, internet, social media to stay in touch with your family and friends. See what other ways you can participate in activities remotely from your home. Phone your GP or any other service you need, like getting your shopping or medicines delivered, and have them left at your door. Make sure you keep your phones and other devices charged up and that you have credit. If you're worried about anything or need any food or medicine delivered, call your family or friends and any local provider and let them know what you need. There will be local arrangements to make sure anyone who needs help gets it. If you're an older person and are living alone, contact the Alone National Helpline on 0818 222 024 or contact your local Garda station. It is important that people take physical exercise and get out for fresh air during this time. And many of these parks and grounds will remain open for local use. If they're within 2 kilometres of your home, you can use them. We expect those who staff these amenities to support social distancing, and we expect you to abide by the public health guidance. We will keep the situation under review to ensure that public health guidelines are being observed by those using these amenities at all times. In light of the further Covid-19 measure announced by the Taoiseach, particularly around cocooning requirements for certain vulnerable members of the community, Minister Murphy wrote to all local authority chief executives last night requesting that they immediately operationalise the framework for local authority community support and put the helplines and support structures in place over the weekend. The City and County Manager Association met early this morning, and the Local Authority Community Response Forum will meet in every local authority to coordinate and ramp up work to help ensure all vulnerable members of our communities affected by these new arrangements are appropriately supported. They'll be chaired and coordinated by the local authority chief and will include the HSE, the council, county champions, An Post, the Community Welfare Service, An Garda Síochána and other state organisations, charities and stakeholders. And it will lead the coordination of Covid-19 community supports in each area. The forum will provide the following types of services: collection and delivery of food, essential household items, fuel, medication in line with guidance, transport to community testing centres, clinical assessment hubs, GP and hospital appointments, social isolation supports and engagement, meals and their delivery, Garda-related matters and other medical health needs. There will be a community support helpline call centre operating from early morning to late evening, 7 days a week in every local authority, and it will be cross-referenced with the Alone National Helpline. To support this, An Garda Síochána has also taken action to increase the numbers of Gardaí on duty during the crisis. This weekend there will be approximately 2,000 to 2,500 Gardaí on duty on each shift. Essential workers. So I know a lot of you have been waiting for a little bit more clarification on essential workers, and a lot of work and consideration has gone into categorising who are essential workers, and we are cognizant of the fact that gaps or issues may arise, but we will deal with them. All employees should work from home if at all possible, and that's the most important thing to remember. The purpose of the document, which will be published on gov.ie, is to provide guidance to employers and employees as to what constitutes an essential service, where workers cannot work from home and have no option but to travel to work. All workers in essential retail outlets, as set out in the updated list which was published last night, are permitted to travel to work. In addition, workers in the categories of essential services, which are going to be set out in a list that will be published on gov.ie this evening, are permitted to travel to work subject to compliance with the guidance below. If you carry out an activity that is necessary for the continued provision of an essential service by another organisation, or you are part of an essential supply chain, you should continue to carry out that activity. To the maximum extent possible, you should do that remotely. The government recognises that many companies in Ireland are critical to global supply chains that are responding to the Covid-19 crisis. And many companies also perform critical global roles in many other aspects of medicine, as well as security, cyber, cloud, data centre infrastructure. It is intended that these essential global roles are encompassed within these national guidance. So if you're an employer, what do you need to do? Firstly, refer to the guidance to decide whether your organisation is providing an essential service. It is not necessary to seek official authorisation. If you are providing an essential service, you should identify those employees, including subcontractors and other people working in your organisation who aren't employees, but who are essential to the provision of that service. You should let them know that they are deemed to be essential workers, and this can be done by a category of employee, or it could include all employees of an organisation. If you're providing an essential service, latest public health guidance should be followed at all times. What do you need to do? Your employer should notify you that you are an essential employee. When travelling to and from work, you should at all times bring with you either a work identification or a letter from your employer indicating you're an essential worker, as well as some other form of identification. If you're self-employed, a farmer or agricultural worker, or a member of the clergy, you should carry one form of identification with you at all times. If you're a volunteer who is working as part of the national community response, you're permitted to travel for that purpose. For example, if you're delivering food, supplies or medicine to a person who is cocooned or vulnerable. The local government emergency response teams will coordinate that response at local level. All organisations who provide essential services should have business continuity and resilience plans in place. This should take account of the possibility that key workers or key facilities may be impacted by Covid-19. If you're not engaged in the provision of essential services, then you're not permitted to travel to or from work until April the 12th. There will be a grace period until 6 p.m. on Monday, March 30th for people who need to make the necessary arrangements to wind down their activity in an orderly way. This should, however, be done in a way that minimises travel and personal interaction as much as possible. In exceptional circumstances, it is accepted that some extra time will be needed for the wind down of activity, or it may be necessary for a site to continue to operate at a reduced level of activity, for example in complex manufacturing processes or very large construction projects. The guidance that we're issuing tonight will be kept under ongoing review and will be updated as required. I wanted to pick up on a few things that have been happening today just to give some reassurance to people. There's a lot of images doing the rounds online today of people panic buying. The Taoiseach has assured us there's no need to stockpile or bulk buy. Food stores and takeaways will remain open in the emergency. Essential workers can continue to use public transport, and if your only option to buy food or medical supplies is to use public transport, then you can continue to do so. We have also had some queries about planes landing at airports. Dublin, Cork and Shannon airports remain open. They will do so to allow the repatriation of Irish citizens from abroad and to ensure our supply chains remain operational. There are a very small number of passenger flights in operation. They are all following public health guidelines, and everyone arriving in the country are being asked to self-isolate for 14 days. So just to conclude, we obviously are directing a lot of traffic to gov.ie, and we're very committed to providing accurate information to the public during the crisis. But I have to comment on the fact that last night gov.ie experienced unprecedented traffic, 50,000 visitors per second, and that caused a temporary outage. We have now completed a major upgrade of the technical capacity, and this should ensure that such outages can be avoided in the future, and we thank you for your patience. Thank you very much.